possible for you guys just to quickly just introduce your instruments too,
Yeah,
and tell it?
Yeah,
and especially like all the stuff that this one.
okay.
Sure.
All right, so jug band music, how that came along, how many of y'all know what the Bell of Louisville is? Right? The Bell of Louisville. It's a steamboat, right? So about 100 years ago, steamboats were very popular, and they went up and down the Ohio River, up and down the Mississippi River. And on those boats were bands that played, music up and down the river. A lot of those bands were what they called Dixieland, that style of music. So they had tubas and clarinets and horn sections. The problem was those instruments are kind of expensive. So the average person on the street that wanted to play that kind of music had to kind of come up with their own way to make those instruments. So like the kazoo that you see me playing here was kind of a fill-in for a clarinet. It was a kind of a cheap way to do that. Guitars were fairly common, mandolins, banjo or some other ones. We don't have a jug player with us today, but usually they took like an old whiskey jug, just a big bottle, and they would blow into it and get like your bass notes. That's where you got and that mimicked the tuba is what that was. And then they needed something to help kind of keep the beat. So Bruce down here, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name's Bruce, and I play the washboard. And a long time ago, before washing machines, this is how you washed your clothes. You put this in a bucket, you'd soak things up, and you'd rub up and down. And that's when you'd wash piece by piece by piece, and it took about all afternoon. So they needed a drum. They didn't have drums, so they had a washboard. So they played with spoons, and they'd stick whatever they had, a cowbell, tuna can, brains, and woodblock. And so the washboard person was in charge of the percussion, so they just used this, and they'd do the scratch and the tap, and they'd put the drums in, and then in the morning they'd wash the clothes with it.
I didn't hear you. Somebody say something?
If you're a percussionist, just raise your hand. I want them to see. All percussionists, raise your hand.
All right.
We got several.
We got one up here.
If you play a string instrument, raise your hand. A string instrument.
All right. All right for the string instruments.
If you're a musician, choir, band, or orchestra, raise your hand.
Oh, look at that.
All right. Just so you know.
All right.
Great.
All right. Well, we're going to do one more for you all, and then we're getting you all back to your regularly scheduled day.